Long ago, an old man lived in a small house nestled in a quiet, tree-lined street. He was a master clockmaker, known throughout the region for his intricate and beautiful timepieces. His workshop, attached to his home, was a sanctuary of ticking and whirring, filled with the scent of polished wood and oil. He had built this life with his wife, a woman whose laughter was as bright as the morning sun. Together, they had raised their son, Marco, amidst the gentle chaos of springs, gears, and pendulums. After his wife passed away, the silence in the house became heavy, broken only by the rhythmic beat of the clocks. His hands, once steady and precise, now trembled with age, and his eyes, which could spot the tiniest flaw in a gear, grew cloudy. His son, Marco, and his wife, Elena, moved in, promising to care for him and the family home. Marco had once been an eager apprentice, his eyes wide with wonder at his father's craft. But the world had changed, and he grew restless, his ambition turning sour. He saw the workshop not as a place of artistry, but as a dusty relic of a bygone era. Elena, his wife, was sharp-tongued and practical. She measured life in square feet and resale values, not in the patient swing of a pendulum. The old man tried to continue his work, to teach them the secrets he held in his hands, but they were not interested. He would sit at his bench, his fingers fumbling with a delicate spring, while their voices drifted in from the other room, filled with frustration and plans for a different future. One evening, as the grandfather clocks chimed the hour, their hushed, urgent tones reached the old man's ears. "We can't live like this," Marco said, his voice a low grumble. "This house is a gold mine, but we're stuck here with him and his dusty old junk." Elena's reply was cold and clear. "He has to go, Marco. It's the only way. We need to sell this place and start our own lives, a modern life." The next morning, the familiar, comforting sounds of the workshop were replaced by a jarring clamor. The old man shuffled out to find his tools, his blueprints, and his half-finished clocks piled in boxes on the porch. Marco stood in the doorway, his face a mask of grim resolve. "Dad, you have to leave," he said, his words devoid of warmth. "We're selling the house." The old man's heart felt like a shattered watch crystal. "But this is our home. This is your heritage," he whispered, his voice cracking. The door clicked shut, leaving him alone with the boxed remains of his life's work. He sank onto the top step, the ticking of his own heart, the only sound he could hear, and he wept as the sun set on his world. What Marco and Elena didn't know, what they had never bothered to learn, was that the true value of their heritage was not in the house itself. For decades, the old man and his late wife had set aside their finest creation, a magnificent grandfather clock, its casing inlaid with mother of pearl, and its chime a perfect resonant melody. They had called it the Keeper of Time. Hidden within a secret compartment in its base was a collection of rare, antique watches they had acquired over a lifetime, along with a portfolio of investments made from the sales of their most prized commissions. That night, under the faint glow of a street lamp, the old man carefully unboxed the Keeper of Time. With a familiar, practiced movement, he pressed a hidden panel. The compartment opened, revealing the treasure he and his wife had so carefully preserved. This was not just money. It was a testament to their love, their skill, and their foresight. With this legacy, he could begin again. He arranged for a mover to transport the Keeper of Time and his essential tools. He took a train to a small coastal town he and his wife had always dreamed of retiring to. An old acquaintance, a humble jeweler who had long admired his work, recognized him immediately. Seeing the profound sadness in his eyes, the jeweler offered him a warm meal and a spare room above his shop for as long as he needed. The gentle sound of the sea replaced the harsh silence he had left behind. The next morning, over coffee, the old man asked if he knew of any small shops for rent. The jeweler smiled. Yes, there was a small, vacant storefront just down the street, waiting for someone with a special skill to bring it back to life. It was a humble space, but it had a large window that caught the morning light perfectly. He used a portion of his savings to rent the small shop and a modest apartment nearby. He set up his workbench, polished his tools, and placed the Keeper of Time in the front window, where its gentle chimes soon became a beloved feature of the street. Word of the master clockmaker spread through the town. People brought him their broken family heirlooms, old pocket watches that had stopped ticking, cuckoo clocks that had fallen silent. With each repair, the old man felt his purpose returning. His hands, guided by a lifetime of knowledge, became steady once more. He began to design new clocks, inspired by the rhythm of the waves and the flight of seabirds. He even took on a young apprentice, a girl from the town with patient hands and a curious mind, who reminded him of a younger, more hopeful Marco. One day, 2 years later, a well-dressed couple paused in front of his shop. It was Marco and Elena. Their faces were etched with a familiar anxiety. The old man watched from his bench as they stared, mesmerized, at the Keeper of Time. They entered the shop, a small bell heralding their arrival. "Dad," Marco said, his voice uncertain. We didn't know." The old man simply nodded, a quiet dignity in his posture. He learned that they had sold the house for a handsome profit, but their new, modern life was hollow. Their investments had failed, and the easy money was gone, leaving them with nothing but regret. They had tracked him down, hoping for a handout, another legacy to squander. But the old clockmaker was no longer the frail, broken man they had cast out. He was a craftsman reborn, a respected member of a community that valued him. He looked at his son, not with anger, but with a deep, quiet sadness for the heritage he had so carelessly discarded. He did not offer them money. Instead, he gestured to a simple, elegant wall clock he had just finished. "A life like a clock must be built, not just bought," he said softly. "It requires patience, skill, and respect for the time you are given. That is the only inheritance I have left to give." Marco and Elena stood in silence, the truth of his words echoing in the space between the steady ticking of the clocks. They left the shop empty-handed, leaving the old man in the peaceful, rhythmic world he had so masterfully rebuilt, a world where every tick was a testament to his resilience. He continued his work for many more years, his shop a beacon of craftsmanship and kindness, a place where time was not just measured, but cherished. If you enjoyed this beautiful story and reflection, don't forget to share it with anyone you think might find it useful. Give the video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos and new reflections for your life. See you in the next video. See you soon.